Hello everyone, my name is John. Today I'll tell you how to set up integration to transfer new rows from Smartsheet to Google Calendar. This is necessary to automatically transfer new rows from Smartsheet to other systems. For example, in Google Calendar you can create new events and conveniently work with them in the future. Now let's move on to the setup. First, you need to create a new connection. Next, select the data source system, Smartsheet. Now select the action, Get Rows, New. At this point you need to connect your Smartsheet account to ApiX-Drive. In this window you must specify the username and password for your Smartsheet account. At this point, you must grant ApiX-Drive access to use your Smartsheet account. When the connected login appears in the list of active accounts, select it and click Continue. Next you need to select the sheet from which you will receive new rows. At this stage, you can set up a data filter. In this case there is no need for this, so just click Continue. Now, you see an example of data for one of your Smartsheet rows. If you are satisfied with everything, click Continue. At this point, setting up the Smartsheet data source has been successfully completed. Now you need to move on to setting up the data destination. Choose the system, Google Calendar. Next, select an action, Create Event. At this stage you need to connect your Google Calendar account to the ApiX-Drive system. In this window you need to specify the login and password of your Google account. Be sure to check all access boxes. When the connected account appears in the list of active accounts, select it and click Continue. At this point you see Google Calendar fields for creating new events. First, select a calendar. Next, you can assign variables from Smartsheet to Google Calendar fields. In order to do this, click in the field and select a variable from the drop-down list. Please note that you can use not only variables from the drop-down list, but also enter data manually. To go to a new line, use Enter. When all required fields are filled in, click Continue. At this point, you see an example of the data that will be sent to Google Calendar as new events for each new row from Smartsheet. If you are not satisfied with something, click Edit and you will go back a step. In order to check the correctness of the settings, click Send Test Data to Google Calendar. After successful sending, go to Google Calendar and check the result. If you are satisfied with everything, return to the ApiX-Drive system and continue setting up. At this point, setting up Google Calendar as a data destination has been successfully completed. Now you need to enable auto-update and select an update interval, for example, once every 5 minutes. That's all. I wish you successful integration settings and good luck.